And he was Siyum Hashas the third time. And he asked the Chazon Ish, was darf man sagen bei der dritte Mal, wenn man Siyum Hashas? Steht, the Chazon Ish told him, the first time a person is Siyum Hashas, doch gewaltige Simcha, you came to a milestone in Siyum Hashas. Second time, schon ein bisschen verloren den Geschmack. The third time, it's a chazok. Say whatever you said by the first time, say over the third time. So es haben derselbe Geschmack in der dritte Mal, wenn du schaffst a chazoke von Siyum Hashas, as über der erste Mal. So I'm going to say some of the things which I've said 2 Siyumim ago by the first Siyum, and I'll beat it to Ellis. I'll try to be mekatzer. The Gemara in Shabbos in Daf Kuf Yud Ches. I'm going to take the Tzibur for a little ride through Shas in less than 15 minutes. The Gemara in Shabbos in Daf Kuf Yud Ches Amud Beis. The Gemara says, Amora Abaye. I'll give you a background information. Abaye is one of the Amorim who is the most mentioned, the biggest name in Shas. Zerove was mentioned over 4,300 times. Abaye is mentioned 3,104 times in Shas. And for all those people who are going to double check me in the computers, you have to also check Ve Abaye, Le Abaye, Me Abaye, Ke Abaye. Abaye, the Gemara says, Teisili, the kichazisi sub merabonon the solik mastisholim masechte avdina Yoma Tava Le'Rabanan. When I see it sub merabonon to finish the masechte, I am avdina. I throw a party Yoma Tava Le'Rabanan ichmacham Siyum Amsiba Siyum Yoma Tava Le'Rabanan. Zocht Rashi, and I would like to say tonight Pshat and Rashi. Zocht Rashi, avdina Yoma Tava Le'Rabanan letalmidim Rosh Yeshiva hoyo. Given a Rosh Yeshiva, so he's saying that I'm making a party for all my Talmidim. What does Rashi want to have over here, Dafke Rosh Yeshiva hoyo? What is Abaye Rosh Yeshiva hoyo? What's Shaykh Sotos? The fact he was a Rosh Yeshiva, he was a Rav, he was a Yeshiva Bocher, a Kol younger man, Rosh Yeshiva hoyo. He was a Rosh Yeshiva. So Pashtas, if you look in Shulchan Aruch, in Tov Kuf Nun Aleph, Lagab the Isur Achilas Boso V'Shtias Yain in the 9 days, it says in the Sudas Mitzvah, like a Bris Milah, Pidyon and Siyum HaSechter, you could eat Boser and drink Yain. It says not to be Yesh L'Tzamtzem, but you could eat Boser and Yain. Moran Avraham says, U'B'Siyum HaSechter, Af Misha Loi Lomad, if somebody did not open a Sefer, Loi Lomad Klum, why? What's the right? The Amora Abaye, basically, the Chihavetz, Chazin, and Tzubah Rabbanon, the Sholim Masechte, Yoma Tova Le'Kula Rabbanon. Weißt du, is Kula Rabbanon, Chazin, and one Tzubah Rabbanon finishes Masechte, so he made a part of the Kula Rabbanon. First made Kula Rabbanon, as of the Amora Avraham, is a raya that even the person who did not participate in the limud is also part of the achilas boser v'shtias yain, even though it's a time that you're not allowed to eat boser v'yain in the 9 days. So Rashi, that's what Rashi says, Rosh Yeshiva hoyo. He had a big yeshiva, and in the yeshiva that he had, the Talmidim, everybody, even those who didn't attend in the Siyum Masechta, were there part of it. But, I just want to tell you, the Gemara in Ksubas, how many Talmidim did Abaye have? I'm asking here, people sitting by the table, how many Talmidim did Abaye have? Gemara in Ksubas, steht in Gemara in Daf Kuvov, he have a mifter Rabbanim B'Bei Abaye, when they left the Zman, the end of the Zman, steht, Kore, they say, Paishe Mosayim Rabbanim. And when it dwindled down and everybody left, it's geblieben, 200 Talmidei Chacham in the yeshiva from Abaye when they left off of Ben Azman. Vekoru anafshayu yasmei de yasmei. Those 200 called themselves Yesoime Yesoime. Zok the Marsha. Behechrech that Abaye had at least 600 Talmidim. First 600, when the first 200 left, they called themselves Yesoime because they're missing part, a third of the yeshiva. When the second 200 left, They became Yisrael Yisrael. So Abaye has 600 Talmidim in his yeshiva. Now Abaye made a Suda. The Suda is, steht in Bechonor HaHaloche, you have to do it, V'achilas Boso V'shtiyas Yain. So Abaye is throwing in a party for any one of his Kichazin and anybody, Rosh Yeshiva Zokt Rashi, anybody who's a Tzugam in the Rabbonon, anybody who's one of the Talmidei Chacham finished the Masechta, Abaye sponsors the Speisen from the Sudas Mitzvah. I'd like to ask you a kasha. I asked this kasha many years ago to Reb Chaim Kanievsky. I don't understand. 600 Talmidim, Talmidei Chacham, alle Talmidim from Abaye, and they're learning. Stel zich voor, and if somebody had to take a guesstimate, how many Siyum Masechtas did they have? My guesstimate would be at least twice a week there was a Siyum Masechta. 600 Talmidim from Abaye, Mistome, they learned and they had Siyum. The Kashi is as the Gemara in Eruvin in Daf Samaches, the Gemara talking about the din from Shitufei Mevuos. So the Gemara comes along and says, the Gemara says, Omale Rabbe Barav Chana LeAbaye, Mavoyo de Isbei Trei Gav LeRabbe Kerabon. Let me tell you a picture of what Abaye's house looked like. Abaye's house, there was a Mavoy, was a small street. On one side of the street was Gelebt Rabbe, my Rebbe, sein uncle, Rabbi Barachmani, and Abaye sat on the other side. And the rest was Poshet Balabat. As Rabbi Barachmani said, you should know that your Mavoy, okay, the East Beit Regav Rabban Loi Have Loi Eruv, there's no Eruv Chatzeres, V'loi Shutuf not Shituf Mevuos. Why? Omar Le, Abaye answers, in my Navid, who is going to make the Siyum? Who is going to make this Shituf Mevuos? How do you make Shituf Mevuos? You take a penny, $1 from each one, you buy a kicker, everybody is mishtatev, and therefore all the chatzeros in the movie could carry into the movie, out of the movie, was a gzeira that the movie was ki'ilu, you shouldn't be moitzim, you should say yoch, you should say rabin, so also reshus, even though it's reshus hayoch in the movie, but you have to make a shituf mevois. Zokt Abaye answers him, who is the one who's going to make it? Mar, Rabbi, Rosh Yeshiva, Lav Uche, Zokt Rashi, Eino Lefi Chvoidin. He should go and make an appeal. Everybody should give 50 cents to buy a bread for the Shituf Mevois. Ano, begin se taridu. Ich sitze und lerne, ich habe keine Zeit für them. I'm going to go around collecting from everybody. Inhu, the rest of the people in the movie, they couldn't care less. Yes, Shituf Mevois, ni Shituf Mevois. Therefore, the teretz is, was can sein, v'yaknelu pisa b'solo, I have 1/8. I don't have to go collect. I can go to the bakery myself, one by challah, and be mezaket to all the anshe amovri to be shoot for me and make shituf mevois. Zogt the kiven di boil leminoy, lo efshel yisvuyo botl shituf. The tanya echod bnei amovri shebi kishayim v'shem v'lo yinotam botl shituf. He says, if I'm going to give my challah, comes one of the people, Zogt Rashi, mitten Shabbos in Zorich echod mehem leechod min hashituf v'shoel lemeni ein yicholes biyodi levater misheli bekol Shabbos. I should go ahead and give every Shabbos game keifen amatzeh, keifen achallah. Cost of $3.99 a challah. I can't do it. So ich kenne das nicht. The Meiri says noch weiter. The Meiri says echod shetzorich lirush ani makne sheyev shelet shein yodi maseges kol kach bishul pas. I can't afford a challah to give, and therefore, since I'm not makne believe shalom, it's beila kumtois as eloi lo shituf v'lo. That's the Gemara. Comes out, if I were the auditor or the accountant of Abaye, based on this financial statement, Abaye wants to make shituf mevois. He can't afford to buy a challah to mezakah every week. Vaistois Abaye was the only morud. He didn't have a dime to his name. I asked the Chaim Kanievsky, as I saw the ore, geschmeichelt for the ore, if Abaye is such a blutediker man that he's not able to pay for the challah, for the anshe amovoy, where does Abaye come to sponsor a sudo, wie the Brisker sagen, mit Fisch, mit Fleisch, und alles Ding, mit Bosso, Yain, in order to sponsor such a sudo for every one of his 600 Talmidim? Haytochen, hat Geld, hat nicht Geld. What's happening over here? The Gemara in Ksubis, in Daf Samachei, I'll give you a little background information. Abaye lived 60 years. When he was 45 years of age, his first wife was Nifter, and he was looking for Shidduch. Mit dem ungetrogenen Shidduch, a lady by the name of Chuma. Chuma was a great-granddaughter of Rav Yehuda. She was married Bezivug Rishon to Rav Rexhovo from Pumbedise, and Bezivug Sheni, she was married to Rav Yitzchok, the son of Rabbi Bar Bar. And she becomes Almona, and the question is, she allowed to marry her or not? Machlekes Rebbe Rav Shimon ben Gamliel, if she becomes a Katlonis, B'shnei Pom and B'sholish Pom. Abaye says, Ich paske Rav Shimon ben Gamliel dachol dreimol af zu sein ha-Katlonis, and he married her. Abaye marries Chuma. And Abaye lived only 60 years. They lived together happily for 14 years, from the age of 46 to his 60th birthday. And Abaye was nifter. No, Chuma comes into Beis Din, in Ksubis, in Daf Samachay, and she's asking Rova to paske mezonis. She's alochas poiskin mezonis leisha, but you don't paske yain. Why? Because yain for isha is a dover megulim. Unless if the isha was used to drink wine beforehand, then you're mechuyev to keep her up at the same standard that she had before. So she comes into Rova and she asked him, Rova paske mezonis. She asked for yain. He says, Yadani benachmani the leishasi yain. I know. Listen. I learned with him Bechavrusa. Rova says 22 years Abaye and Rova learned Bechavrusa. I know him. I never ever saw him drinking wine. So Abaye is not drinking wine. First, dreis takot that you want to have yain. I should give you mezonis yain. The Gemara says she unrolled her sleeve and she showed him an amor from the zoya and the amor, and she said, "Beshipuzi, such a long gavia as a champagne cup, 36 ounce. This is what Abaye used to give me every day for lunch." Was tut sich doch? Fragen alle, die Jaivet gleich auf den Ort, was tut sich doch? Rove learns from Chavrusa, 22 years, they had quite some history together. He never ever saw Abaye drinking wine. Und guckt sie gegen Chuma, Chuma ist nicht gewähnt geschakron, das Abaye took her for a wife, das eine kommt von Rav Jude, sie gewähnt eine Weib von zwei große Cheshvan, and she's made that Abaye used to give me every day, as that 36 ounces of Cabernet Sauvignon, was tut sich doch? So he says, the Yavit says, the Gemara state in Shabbos, the Gemara says that somebody who becomes sick, more in Shabbos of Kufkoftes, state, if somebody is nechlash, or Moshe, somebody is makis dam, state in Gemara, wouldn't hide the also yishte yain. He says, Chuma was his wife in the elderly Yom, the Vaistois, that she gave him wine, they started buying wine as a refuah. They went on the Cheshvan of Medicaid, and Medicare, וממילא, בסוף יום ותק getrunken Wein. אז זה steht in Javitz. ומה נעשה, the Ran אישית המקובצת, דוח נפנות, says, ויומש כאויסו יין כל יום ויום. The wine was not for his health, for his gesund, but the wine was for her. His was tut sich. The Gemara says in Shabbos, in the Flamet Gimel, Shloisha Midre Hadroikenim. There are three different types of adroikin. Adroikin is a certain virus, a certain disease, which appears as an inflammation on the skin. And it comes in three different forms. The Gemara says, Shel Aveira, somebody who's a Baal Aveira, Ovo. It comes with a thick inflammation. Shel Ro'ov Tofuach. For somebody who's hungry, mensch, he gets a adroikin also. And how does it come? It's Tofuach. It's inflamed. Shel Kshofim dak. If he's about Kshofim, it's dak, it's thin. So the Gemara, Abaye Chashbi, Abaye got this adroikin. Omar Rove, Yodano benachmani de michfin. So Rashi, don't be choished in Abaye, nicht in Kshofim, or nicht in Aveire. I know as Nebuch hungry mensch, he doesn't have what to eat, and that's why he got that drink. So we have over here Abaye, who is, and I have more and more because we don't. I want to be mekatzer. There's noch kama v'kama gemoras anybody wants later. I can share with them. But there's a raya that Abaye was the only mohud. He didn't have a dime to his name. So Abaye was the only mohud who gets nebuch hadroikin from being hungry, and he doesn't have a penny to buy. He wants to make shidduch from the vur, so he can't afford to buy the bread, the lechem, the challah for the anshe amovid. And all of a sudden, when he comes to the Siyum HaShas, not Siyum HaSha, Siyum HaSechte, Avdile Yoma Tava Le'Rabanan, for wie viele Menschen? For 600 Le'kule Rabbanan. What's happening over here? I'd like to say Pshat, and I think maybe Emes Lamita Shultin. The Gemara says in the end of Hoyrius is a Masechta, popular Masechta for the people who learn in 9 days. It's 12 blot. Ken machen asim, a rein chat mafleshi kesuda. Steht in Gemara gleich by the end. The Gemara says, Molach Rabbe was a melech, was a yeshiva 22 years. After Rabbe was Rav Yosef the Rosh Yeshiva. Rav Yosef was nifter. They had 4 candidates to take over. Who were the people to take him over? The Amora says it was Abaye, Rove, Rav Zeire, and Rave Bar Rav Masne. Have a Yasve, and they sat down, who's going to become the next Yeshiva? So it gesagt, Amre, they said, call the Oma Milse. Anybody who says a shtikul Torah v'lo mifrach, ma'averesh. If a guy could say a shtikul Torah and you're not poirichim, he's the one who becomes the Rosh Yeshiva. Everybody said a shtikul Torah and everybody else shlogged it up. Ma'averesh Abaye said a shtikul Torah and nobody shlogged them up. So the Gemara, Gleich Abaye was walking around the Gova Reishe, Omrulei Nachmani, Psach, you're the Rosh Yeshiva, come say a shtikul Torah, you become a Rosh Yeshiva. There's another Gemara, the Gemara in Soitin Daf Mem. The Gemara says a story when Rav Avo became a Rosh Yeshiva. They say they wanted to make him Imnu Rabbanon Lemim de Bereish. Listen to a person. A person just got a shtel, he's becoming a Volz Rosh Yeshiva. Who came, given the Havele Rav Abo de Min Aku. By the way, his kever is there in Aku Adayim Azeh. We know where he's buried. Rav Abo de Min Aku, the Nefisha Le Balcheves. The Gemara in Soitin in Daf Mem Udalef. Omar, Ike Rabbe, sagt Rashi, Nefisha עלי חייבש היוצור חיובס, אומר לי, חוכם גודל ורואי לי של יויסר ממני, כדי ישבו בראש, this is Rabbi Bo, he's giving up his stella, ונויסנים לוי מויס ומעשירי נויסר, כדי שיהיה חשוב וישומו דבורוב, כדוגמס, כדתניה, והכהן הגודל מאיכו גדלנו משלך. Abba said, listen, ich brauch nicht kein Parnusse, Baruch Hashem, Rabbi Bo, we had Parnusse, זה שמוס בפני עצמי. But this Rav Abba the Minak was a Blutetike Roman, he is Balichevis, is in chapter 11. We got to get him out of the mess. Let's give him the Stelle. Und sie da Loche, als eine wird aber Shive, Ma'ashiri no Isoi, you mechuyev to give him Gadlei Mishel Echol. Sie da Asugis Agmora in Chuli, Tafkuf Labedal, and Beis in Rashi, that somebody becomes a Rosh Yeshiva, then mechuyev, whoever puts him up as a Rosh Yeshiva, to be Mashim, to make him into Aida Gevir. Now I'd like to suggest as follows. The whole stories we go through Abaye and the whole Shas, there was 2 separate kufas in Abaye. Kol's man, he wasn't a Rosh Yeshiva, he gave a Blutetike Roman. He gave a Roman that had Reiken, he became Machmas Rav, he got that Reiken, Machmas Rav, Machmekafi. He became such a Roman that when you have to stel zu a Challah for Anshe Amovoi, I can't afford it. Maybe the guy will come Shabbos afternoon for Shalom Shudas to borrow the Challah, I can't. He gave a Enel, how could he afford wine? He can't even sponsor a piece of challah. He's going to afford a wine. You're coming with a zamaise. But let me tell you a little secret that you wouldn't maybe hear anywhere else. After Abaye became the Rosh Yeshiva, after the Tkufa of Rav Yosef, steht to say that Adoyres, Rove was one of the candidates, his Chavrusa, says, listen, we were together buddies. If he's going to be Rosh Yeshiva, I'm going to sit here as a second, a zweiter fiddle. He took his bags, and the day Abaye became a Rosh Yeshiva, Rove moved to Mechoizer. And Rove did not see him ad la'achar Moisei. When Abaye died, Rove came to Pumbedise, and he moved the whole Olam, the yeshiva moved from Pumbedise to Mechoizer to Rove. But Kol Zman Abaye lived. Now, when did that happen? Moira de Kazach. Abaye Molach, Abaye's Rishon. Abaye, exactly when he got married to his wife Chuma, is when he took over the Rosh Yeshiva. When she comes in to Rove and she has a conversation with him, Rove says, Ich gedenk Zochanos Adoge, ich gedenk the Alta Abaye, which during the 22 years of our Chavrussenschaft, given a Blutetike Roman, I was made that he came, he got a Droigen Taka for the Rove. He can't afford it, he didn't have wine. Was Dreistag up? Comes Chume is nicht kein Ligner. He got married to me, he became a Rosh Yeshiva. He got a stelle. He has a W-2 form. And the Ashir Oiser, it's a new tkufa in his life. During that new tkufa, Abaye could start splurging and giving chuma azah shapruze every day for lunch, a beautiful cup of wine. Rashi zogt ki have Abaye said ki chazina l'tzu b'Rabanan ave Yoma Tava Le'Rabanan, says Rashi. Rashi is not telling me stand up some Eisele Punkt as a Gewinner Rosh Yeshiva. Rashi hat echt gehad the Kashe was uns gehad. How is Abaye sponsoring such picnics of daily, day after day, Achilles, Bosse, V'Shtias Yain, wo hat dem Geld hat gefahren? Abaye doch gewinner blutediker Roman, he became sick from his Rashi Rosh Yeshiva. You know what? This whole taking place when Abaye becomes Rosh Yeshiva, Rove doesn't know him. The Rove makes an exit exactly the day when Abaye becomes a Rosh Yeshiva. Rove moves to Mechayze. Therefore, this is Eilu ve'eilu divrei Elokim Chaim. Is made of them tkufa when is made of yenem tkufa. This is just as a. I'd like to end off and say a few words, and I would like to ask the ladies to please be quiet. Steht in Amora as Rabbi hat gesagt, sheli v'shelochem shelo. I know my wife is not interested in me in the mefarsim, but the Maise, it's lo yitochen. I want to tell you the edus from Tog Teglach night, milde night, be'emtza alaylo. It's not shayach without a Mesiras Nefesh for my entire vibe, but she's there always to support, to give, and she knows how many blot you have left. Every night the question is, how many more blot, how many more blot, how many more blot? And this is the way you finish noch hamol shas, and noch hamol shas, and noch hamol shas. I want to tell my children that are sitting here and my grandchildren. The Gemara we just learned in Yideh, halichos olam loy, al tikri halichos el alochos. You know what I want to say, Pshat? You know how kol hashem alochos b'chol yoim, how you make a Siyum Hashas? If you take away the halichos, the person has top teglach etirtis. You come in, you have a chas, I gotta go, I gotta run, I'm just going to say Mazel Tov. Halichos olam, if you start running around, das ist nicht der Rezept auf Ben Olam Haba. Al tikri halichos el halochos. You know, the buck stops here. You have to know that the halochos, the kviyus sitim latera, onafsoke, yomam v'laylo, this is the recipe for having and becoming a Ben Olam Haba. I appreciate everybody that came here from close, from far, mikorov and mirochik, and I'm very, very much in appreciation for all of you for being mishtatef and my simcha. I would like to call upon my Grace Yedid and Rebbe, Rav Yankiv Drillman, to say a couple of divrei bracha.